So I just want to make this like really super short, quick. I'm right here cleaning, got my kids eating dinner, watching their movie, and it's really on my heart to kind of raise awareness and be a face, essentially a voice for those who suffer with mental illness. I personally do suffer with depression, and especially with my autoimmune disorders, it definitely makes me super prone to having depression even more so. Aside from like all of the lifestyle like events stuff that have happened, that have also brought on the cycle of depression, as well as genetically, not too rampant, but there are some people in my family that have also struggled with depression. And I feel like there's such a stigma and there's such a shame and a guilt to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and honest with what we're struggling with, what we're going through, with how we feel. I know it's very popular and on trend to, I don't work with feelings, I don't have emotions, I'm cold-hearted, I'm this and I'm that. When in reality, that's all BS and lies. And that's what causes the social conflict of people being very selfish, very guarded, and not caring, and the disconnect of compassion and empathy and sympathy. And everyone has the victim mentality where if I don't keep this guard up, this wall up, then everyone's gonna attack me and everyone's gonna judge me, critique me, and I don't want to go through that. And I'm, in a sense, it's like the reverse psychology of like, oh, I'm bigger, better, stronger, so I'm gonna keep you right here so I can protect myself. When reality is that's harmful to ourselves and to society and the world in general as a whole. And emotional immaturity and emotional incapability and the lack of coping skills is, I think, freaking running rampant in my generation. I'm a 90s baby, and I love my parents so much, and I know that they did the absolute best that they could for me, and they still continue to do for me and their grandkids. And I also know that me, as well as others my age, have also struggled a lot because of old school mentalities that we've been taught. Not everything old school is bad, but some of the things and some of the emotional, like, shove it under the rug, keep it pushing, don't, like, mind over matter, don't worry about it, don't talk about it, don't discuss it, and it didn't happen and it's not going to affect you. That needs to go, because that doesn't work. At least for me and people I see and know that are struggling, that doesn't work. I'm very sensitive, I'm very emotional, and I used to be very ashamed and embarrassed to say that, and I'm not anymore, because I feel like my oldest son's dad suffered severely with depression. We were together from the time I was 15 to 22, and when he was 23 years old, I was 22, and he unfortunately fell victim to his depression at his own hand. And that's something one day that I'm going to have a conversation with my son about. He's 8 years old, so I have yet to do that. And I do not want to raise my son to think as a man that it's not okay to cry, that it's not okay to express your feelings, to verbally be able to communicate how you feel, what's going on, what you're struggling with, what's hurting you, what you need help with. Because I'll be damned over my dead body that my son is going to be lost to depression. His father did not die in vain. His father did not die without serving a purpose. I'm going to make sure I carry on this legacy and turn this through the glory of God, through the power of God, only through Jesus Christ, to catapult this tragedy to be a face and be a voice for mental illness, and just to raise awareness that nobody knew when he did this. I thought everybody freaking knew he was depressed. I'm like, hello, how can y'all really not tell? And sometimes I think it's almost a case of denial and a case of helplessness of, well, I got my own problems, so how am I supposed to help you? Or I got my own issues, so how am I supposed to help them? Or they say everything's all good, so I don't want to pry, and it's like, and then on the other end, it's like, well, I don't want people to think this of me because that. And it's like being vulnerable and being raw and being honest is the most beautiful, powerful thing, and can help so many people just to be able to speak their truth of what is going on with them. And depression is also one of the only illnesses that almost like debilitates you from reaching out for help and getting help for yourself. And so I have been very against medication, and I have to say that after years of being rebellious and dragging my feet and not wanting to be on medication because I'm too strong for that, I'm afraid of the medication, honestly, it's fear. I'm afraid of the medication and what could happen, of what I hear from so-and-so, this and that. And honestly, I am not going to be ashamed to admit I needed antidepressant. I needed antidepressants, and it has made a world of a difference for me. I've also struggled because I needed medication for my autoimmune disorders, and like taking a synthetic hormone, it's like, okay, first of all, I just barely turned 28 years old, November 5th, 1991, 11/5. Anyways, it's like I've been healthy my whole entire life, and then all of a sudden I feel like my body turned against me. And that made me super prone to depression. And those of you in my life know I went through it for a good year, like struggling tough, but I kept my eyes focused on the Lord above, and I kept pushing. And now I feel it's a disservice and a dishonor to my son's dad and to those who have helped me and to God if I don't preach to spread this message and raise awareness of mental health. Because a lot of people would look at me and not think that about me. Just because maybe I know how to put on eyelashes and I'm a good mom, you think I'm not struggling, or you think that I'm not struggling that bad. No, trust and believe, there were days I couldn't get out of bed. And it's horrible. It's horrible. And I'm just so grateful to be where I'm at. And so I just want to put my hand out there. Anyone, anywhere, ever wants to talk, needs help, wants resources, please to reach out to me. That's my passion. That's my career. Nursing, behavioral health, mental illness. I want to raise awareness. I want to be a face to that. So please feel free to like, share this video, and share your experience, share your struggles, share your strength. I truly have a love and a care for all of you people. So thank you for taking the time to watch this.